Thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Top Bins Football. It's me, Ben, and I'm here with Aaron and Louis, and today we are going to be talking about the Worst?
Oh, God, it was so good!
It was so good. Anyway, keep going, Benny, keep going. We'll keep it in. We'll run with the bloopers.
Worst transfers ever into the Premier League.
Yes.
We all had a discussion about this. We did some research about all our ideas, who we thought were awful. So we'll get started with the goalkeeper. Who did we go for goalkeeper?
Kepa.
It had to have been Kepa.
Had to be.
100%.
£72 million price tag.
That's the main reason, is because of his price tag. If he was 25 million and he was still only this bad, he wouldn't have made this list. But because of the price tag, what are Chelsea fucking thinking? They put £6 past him the season they bought him.
Yeah.
I mean, the just whenever I think of Kepa, I just think of him getting cramp and then refusing to be subbed off.
Yeah, making contact.
How do you get cramp as a keeper? How do you get cramp as a keeper?
Well, I'm saying that, lads. I've had cramp when I was sat down before.
I mean,
you think Kepa, you don't think good goalkeeper. The only thing you think of is when he disgraced Conte by fucking saying, "Nah, I'm not coming off."
It was Sarri, wasn't it?
Oh, was it Sarri? Shit, Sarri. My bad.
Downfall of Sarri. As soon as Sarri can't control his players, he's going to get
made him look like a mug.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking idiot. And all because of a young kid who refused to go off the pitch.
Yeah, who's fucking shite as a keeper anyway. So.
And then let the last penalty in. He fucked up the penalty shootout.
Yeah.
Whereas we fully know how good Caballero is at saving penalties.
Penalty saver, yeah.
Well, you never know what could have happened and everything, but there was a whole, you were injured, mate. You should have fucking gone.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't injured, your manager is your boss. But
exactly. Just listen, exactly. For the 72 million price tag and just his one bad attitude and two just not being very fucking good. Like he made the list.
Yeah, like even this season he was when Mendy first came in, he wasn't even getting bench, was he?
To Kepa?
For the first couple of games, it was Caballero. No,
it was Willie, I think. Yeah,
it was. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes out on loan,
along with the rest of Chelsea's 93 million players.
Yeah, well, he needs to go out on loan because they can't just sell him because they won't get any money for him because people haven't seen anything good from him recently. So they're going to have to loan him out, get him some confidence back, and then maybe look at selling him.
You'll sell him for 15 mil to a lower league club, like not a lower league, like a mid-table club.
Yeah.
But then you've lost 60 million on him.
Yeah, exactly. With nothing to show for it.
Who was your mention, Louis, that you thought of putting in?
Roy Carroll. When he signed for United, because I think he came from the Championship or a shit team. I can't remember, but then he joined United. Where it was in between them having great keepers. So United have always famously had fantastic goalkeepers, and it was Schmeichel, then Fabian Barthez, and then in between Barthez and Van der Sar. Van der Sar's probably one of the best keepers in the Premier League ever. They had Roy Carroll for like a season or two. It was just the worst ever. But it's not famous enough, and I don't think he was that expensive, so it can't be a bad transfer. Like, it's not famous enough to be.
I did have a think of maybe mentioning Aaron Ramsdale as well.
Yeah.
All his money I don't mean all his money. His thing to Sheffield, and then he's just not done well. He didn't do amazing at Bournemouth either, but Kepa is, just because of Kepa's money, it just had to be Kepa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ramsdale, it might not be that good, but he didn't come with that massive price tag that Kepa did for such a young keeper.
That's the main reason he's there. If he was the same price as the rest of these goalkeepers we mentioned, I don't think Kepa makes the worst.
No, but the fact he was that much fucking money. All right, move on to right back. We had that. Is it Khalid Belarus? Is that how you say his name? Belarus.
Yeah, he's Dutch, isn't he?
Yeah, that famously wore the number 9 shirt.
At right back, yeah, I remember.
At right back.
Signed for what was it? 8.5 million
from Hamburg. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was at the club 8 months. At Chelsea, 8 months.
He was absolutely useless. And this was the time when they were buying everyone before as well, when they just before this time round, when they just bought everyone, and it was like they could have bought anyone in the world, and they signed
this kid.
This kid, and then he refused to sign for the club unless he got the number 9 shirt. And then when he played 20 times, and it was just awful.
It was shocking, yeah. I mean, yeah, like if you sign for a club and you only there 8 months, something's gone horribly wrong. Either it just wasn't the transfer for you, or you were shockingly shite. And I think it was the second option. So yeah.
We didn't really have any other honourable mentions. For
right back position was quite hard, to be honest.
Yeah, because if you sign a right back in the Premier League, you're normally signing a well-known right back, because it's quite hard to create one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's either a homegrown right back or you buy a well-known right back.
I'm not even going to pipe him with homegrown right back after last night's performance.
Another Liverpool fucking video.
We're back to Trent.
I'm joking.
He's on mind again.
The amount of times I've sat in this bed thinking about Trent, mate, honestly.
Oh, you're mad.
Brilliant.
Anyway, shall we move on?
Can we get a video of Aaron's most sus things he said?
Yeah, fucking do it.
4-hour video.
Right, let's move on. Centre-back pairing. Centre-back pairing.
We've gone with Mangala.
UK Mangala, 40.5 million from Porto.
Oh, yeah, what a fucking steal. But, absolute joke of a signing. He didn't have a bad first season, though. Like, it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't 40 million's worth.
No.
And then it all went downhill from there on out.
Yeah.
It ended up in loads of injury problems, then loads of loan moves because they couldn't sell him. And I think they finally sold him for nothing.
Yeah, barely anything they got for him in the end. So it's another one of those where people buy him for a lot of money and then, end up making that a huge loss. I know that hasn't been the case with Kepa because they haven't sold him yet, but it's going to be one of those cases.
Yes, either let him
is
go.
Is he still playing, Mangala?
Yeah, I think so. I think he signed a new contract last year.
Oh, he's at Valencia.
Yeah.
Just googled it. He's at Valencia.
But staying at centre back with another Man City defender is Di Michaelis. He wasn't that expensive. He was only 5 million or 4.5 million from Atletico. But he was like mid-30s. He was well past it. There's no point signing him. And then when they did sign him, they had solid centre-backs like Company and Otamendi, and John Stones was there, but near the end. But Di Michaelis was signed, and then they played him.
Yeah.
That made it work.
What's the point?
If you sign him for a backup, I can understand it. But you're signing a okay defender when you've got world-class defenders on your bench.
Yeah, there's no point in doing so. So it's just it's there for you have some sort of depth or you should have a replacement, but use him as that. Don't play him over the people you have.
The only reason you sign older centre-backs as well is for the backroom stuff. So it's to kind of train the younger kids or to have a voice in the back room.
Yeah.
But this didn't have that. This guy didn't have that. He was just an old cunt. He's just been signed in. You know what I mean?
Well, they signed him from Atletico Madrid, but he'd only been at Atletico Madrid for 2 months and hadn't made an appearance.
Exactly. It just adds to it.
Yeah, it just adds to the more of the point. Then what the hell are they thinking?
That's a poor signing from Atletico as well, but this is about the Prem, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much did Atletico sign him for? Is there a fee there?
I think it might have been a post-contract deal.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, okay.
But then it says
they signed him to cash in.
They signed for Atletico Madrid on a 1-year contract after his link with a club expired. In December, he started legal action against the latter over non-payment of his.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Well, we seem to have a theme emerging here because our left back is Ben Mendy, another City player.
We're going to get so much shit for that.
I don't think we looked at this and sort of thought about that before putting this out, but it's who we come up with, so we'll run with it. Ben Mendy signing for 50.
If you sign 100 million players, a lot of them are going to be bad.
Yeah,
That's why there were so many Man City players in the top 11.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like,
Well, I
if
think-
you sign enough players, you're going to have good signings. You're also going to have terrible signings.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, I think the Ben Mendy thing is the same as Kepa, really. It's because of his price.
Yeah, you
The
signed him for
52
52 million.
Like,
But you can sign-
he's not made many appearances or had many, like, done actually anything memorable for City yet, has he? Apart from getting injured all the time.
He signs for 52 million, and then their backup right back, Cancelo, is now being converted into a left back, so he doesn't have to play.
And last season, didn't they play that Zinchenko over him quite a lot? Was he a left back?
Zinchenko.
Yeah, and they played Zinchenko quite a lot.
The young lad who they got for free is playing over a 52 million pounder, and then their right back, Cancelo, is now being
Utilised in that left back position.
That's saying something to me.
Yeah.
I think we should mention honourable mentions for defender, and the big one, obviously, is Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it, 80 million?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
what is most of the time quite a calamitous subpar defender.
Leicester are laughing. Like, they're genuinely laughing.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
because who did they replaced him with someone from their youth development. So it's like they didn't spend any money.
And they're using that Sionchu now as well. And when he's fit, he's the dogs.
Wes Fornells, is that his name? He looks class as well. He's young.
Pablo Fornells, no?
No, that's West Ham.
No, that's the West Ham.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yeah, but they're definitely laughing. Does
Yeah.
anyone know what Leicester paid for Maguire?
From Sheffield. I reckon it was under 10, probably 4. I reckon. Have a Google.
Probably something around that.
Very cheap,
Was it?
yeah.
Was it? It was from Hull, wasn't it?
For some chef.
No, I thought him and Robertson both came from Hull.
We clearly haven't done enough research on Harry Maguire.
Well, he was only an honourable
Yeah,
mention.
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
For the price tag compared to what United get from him, it's really like, and the fact they made him captain, he's not captain material.
It's
He was
because-
12 million from Hull.
Well, no, but he played great for Leicester. He won the league
Yeah.
at Leicester, so that's a great signing.
Great signing for Leicester, yeah, 100%. And then
And then they cash in on him by 8 times the amount, 7 times the amount they earned back.
yeah,
And he's not done. Like, yes, he's made maybe a few good defensive clearances to maybe save United some points, but he's just not done anything.
But it's not
done
worth.
anything special.
he's not worth the price tag.
It's
No.
still it's the same as Kappa again. If he was 25 million, he would not be in this conversation. I think we should move on to midfield
Moving on to
now.
the midfield, yeah.
Yeah.
So our
It's in the
first midfielder, we went for a Danny Drinkwater.
Yeah, 35 million from Leicester. It was part of the same move, I think, the same year.
Yeah, after they won, wasn't it?
He went to Chelsea with Conte, and then it was like two opposites of what their centre midfielders can do. Complete opposite.
Yeah, exactly. You got Kante, who's, well, for the most part, really solid. You know, he's someone you can rely on. And
You know what you're going to expect.
Exactly. And you got Danny
Yeah.
Drinkwater, like
He's just gonna punch up your youth system.
He just punched
his
up
kids.
He just punched up Harvey Devine. What, 2 months ago?
And now Drinkwater has been shipped off to Greece or somewhere, Turkey, I think it was, Turkey. And Harvey Devine scored for Spurs the other day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Harvey
let's
Devine-
not talk about that was against Marine, but
Like, he's 16 or his boy.
yeah, there's just not really much. Drinkwater, he tried to revitalise his career by going on loan at places. Like, he went to Villa, was awful.
But he signed for 35 million, did fuck all.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
It's another one where the price tag doesn't match what you get back from the player.
And it's not Drinkwater's fault. It's Chelsea
No.
for this is the worst signing for them because it's like they've spent all this money on a bang average player who wasn't getting in the England setup as well. He wasn't getting call ups, and if he did, it was from the bench. And then there also has to be a mention that he didn't take advice for his own fucking surname, and then drank some beer and tried to drive one night.
Oh, what an analogy that is!
Brilliant.
Love that. Okay, moving on. Our second centre mid was, or our midfielder was Jack Rodwell.
For Sunderland, signing from Man City. He was part of the big haul from Man City when they just bought all the best players from each team. Jack Rodwell was doing bits at other clubs, and then signed for City, didn't play at all. Then was sold to Sunderland, and then refused to play. So it's like,
it's a very, very poor signing on Sunderland's behalf. Like, especially, like, I don't know where they plucked that 11.5 million figure out of the air. Like, well, that's overpaying, and then two, if you're going to sign someone, they fucking play. You make them play. Like, you know.
Especially when he's now on Sheffield's books, I think.
He was part of the Sunderland Till I Die documentary, wasn't he? And there was just all that talk about him being like, he was one of the most paid players, and it was at this point he refused to play when they started dropping down the leagues, wasn't it?
He was their most paid player, I think. Him and Defoe, maybe.
Yeah.
And he just refused to play. So he paid 11.5 million for a fucking doorknob. You know what I mean? Like and he was 11.5 million is probably what he's worth now in modern money.
In today's market, yeah.
But like, I think they overpaid for that anyway. So it was like, for a club that didn't have any money, that was on the way down, and then they had to give him away for free.
Yeah.
He went to Blackburn for a season.
Did he play? I can't remember hearing his name after
he made 21 appearances for Blackburn in 2018-19.
Yeah, that's okay. But
now he's at Sheffield.
Yeah,
he's made one appearance.
He's been there for 2 years, year and a half. Sorry. Yeah, so Rodwell fits right into that centre midfield.
Yeah. One honourable mention that I've just sort of thought of, and I'm probably get slated with this, but it's Donny, and it's not Donny's fault. Van der Beek, like, United signed him, and they're not playing him. They're not utilising him.
Yeah, that's not a bad signing. That's just bad management.
Yeah.
I rate him as
I'm not saying it's a bad transfer because he's a quality, very high quality player, but it is a bad transfer or a bad business in the fact that they've bought him and they're not utilising him.
It's a bad transfer on that aspect. It's not a bad transfer for the player.
Yeah, no, not at all. But it's just the fact they're not utilising him. Like,
he plays for his country. Like, he gets in the Holland squad.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, that's just
whenever he has. Yeah,
whenever he has played, bad. He's done bits. It's not a bad transfer, but they're not utilising him.
Yeah,
bad management.
Yeah, bad management. Yeah,
he could have made the list really, but over these two, he's never making the list.
No, because he's a good player. We'll stay on the list.
Should we stay on our Man United trend and go with Alexis Sanchez?
Yeah, like signing for 38.25 mil, and then Mkhitaryan. Yeah. Also got given the other way.
What a joke.
Do you know that deal happened 3 years ago today?
Okay, so 3 years ago, 2 days ago then.
Timestamp in the video.
38 million plus Mkhitaryan. At that time, I think Mkhitaryan probably was worth about 25 mil. Maybe 30 mil if you really wanted to push it. So let's say they bought Sanchez for around 62 million.
Yeah.
About that. 62 to 63 million they brought Sanchez for, essentially. And probably one of the worst signings ever.
Yeah. For how much he flopped. Yeah, he just...
He was pretty decent at Arsenal. That midfield were very fucking strong. Him, Cazorla... They were doing bits.
He was really good, yeah.
But then as soon as he goes to United, and he's doing all right now.
Yeah. He just disappeared. And like, the thing is, United are sort of... They have a tendency to do that. They get a big player in that performs well elsewhere, and they just disappear at United. It happened with Di Maria, Falcao, it's happened with Sanchez. It happened with Lukaku.
Yeah, but then you look at Falcao was free, Di Maria wasn't that expensive, but like this was very, very expensive.
But then we could have included Mkhitaryan as well, because he flopped at Arsenal, didn't he?
But he wasn't brought by Arsenal, was he? So it's not a transfer.
That's true. All right.
He was the price. Like, he was sent as the price. But yeah, Mkhitaryan did flop at Arsenal as well. I swear he was only there for an extra 3-4 months.
He wasn't there for long, yeah.
He didn't finish the season there.
No. He's now at Roma and doing well. So both of those players are doing well at
in Italy.
The clubs they're at now.
Yeah.
Well, that's their level. I think it's a slower game.
The thing is, Sanchez proved that he could do it in the Prem because he did it for Arsenal, but he just couldn't. He couldn't do it in the Man United system.
It's a different style of football. Arsenal kind of play that 4 centre midfielders.
Yeah.
And then United play a winger, an actual winger, and then he's not quick enough or strong enough to deal with it. Like Di Maria wasn't strong enough to deal with British centre backs, or no, not just British centre backs, like proper Premier League centre backs, right back, that's strong, powerful, quick, and he can deal with it.
It's a lot more physical in England, isn't it?
Yeah, which is literally, I reckon, why our next bloke Pepe goes in as well.
Yep.
It's the same deal. Pepe was killing it in France at Lille. It cost 72 million.
Record signing for Arsenal.
I think it's probably the biggest con in transfer history for me. Or it's close.
Yeah, he just can't handle the physicality and the difference of the Premier League compared to the French league.
Whoever his agent is needs a handshake, because to pull off this deal, to pull off this deal, I'd accept him at 30 mil maybe, and I think that's overpriced. But then 72 million.
Yeah, it's robbery. It is robbery.
Who do they play? And then I wrote a status on Facebook saying he's the biggest con in football history, and then a few people have commented saying, yeah, he's had some upsides, and every one of their positive upsides was the free kick he scored. What? Wait! What has he done?
He scored a free kick. Like, fuck
he's
off.
got a free. He's fast. He can run.
Yeah, so can Dan James.
They can't cross, they can't do anything else, but they can run.
But if you look at the likes of Saka, who is like, he's been brought up through the English football system, like, he can do it. He's a youngster, but he can do it because he knows English football. He's been brought up playing English football, the physicality of it, etc.
Pepe's not a baller. Like he's like that. He wants to play like classy, simple, slow football. 4 touches, then make a pass. Or like, you don't have to run. Just like, I hold the ball up, someone else will run.
Which they seem to be able to do in the French league.
Reel.
Huh?
He wants every game to be a YouTube compilation of Pepe skills.
He wants multiple takes on. He wants it to be like a film. Like that didn't work. We'll try that again. We'll film it. Don't tackle me hard.
And it just doesn't work in the Premier League. It doesn't.
But it works in the French league.
Yeah. I'm not gonna disrespect the French league like other people might do, because I can imagine it's still hard, but it's just not as hard as the Premier League.
It's nowhere near.
I'm not gonna go call it the fucking Farmers League like it is.
You just did.
Right,
Somehow.
that.
we'll move on before I get myself in trouble.
Again.
Any winners that honourable mention? Di Maria.
Di Maria.
Another. It seems to be United here as a theme as well. I can't really think of any others that like proper glare out for being, costing a huge amount of money but flopping.
You could potentially include like Dan James as well for City. For United, he's not doing.
He just lacks football intelligence. He doesn't.
How much was he? He's from the Championship as well, yeah.
Yeah, he won't have been any sort of real money.
No.
So I think we'll just move on to our forwards.
Andy Carroll
signing for 36 million from Newcastle to Liverpool.
I said this in the How Can United Win the Premier League podcast episode. I said, if he was worth 35 million, I'm worth fucking 10. Like, it was an absolute joke. I remember when it happened, and he's the most expensive Premier League player of all time. And then I remember it was on transfer deadline day, and then obviously the Torres deal came through to Chelsea, so that he was no longer the most expensive player. But at one point, he was the most expensive transfer from Premier League to Premier League of all time. At one point, he'd been in the game 5 minutes.
Yeah,
he didn't even score that many at Newcastle.
No,
not in the Premier League. In the Championship, he did, but then in the Premier League, he didn't. Where's the thought process?
I don't know. And 36 million first. It just makes me feel sick. The fact that I know we paid that much for him, and then we sold him on for pennies because he was shit.
Signed to West Ham on a season-long loan with an option to pay 1 million at the end of it, and West Ham decided to pay it. They didn't have to pay it.
Yeah,
they could have had it free.
Aaron, do you want me to make you feel even more sick?
Go on, him.
32.5 for Benteke.
Oh yeah, all right.
Oh shit! That's an honourable mention.
Yeah, it's got to be an honourable mention.
He's not the other striker on here.
Yes, all right. We have had some glaring errors in signings.
I'm just waiting for an Ashley Barnes bid to come in for 35 million.
Apparently, a load of Liverpool fans are changing their profile pictures to Ashley Barnes because we.
That was before the game.
Yeah,
you didn't think anything would happen,
and then yeah.
Classic Liverpool.
But yeah, they were. What was it? 3 months off being 4 years away from losing at home. The second longest streak. First
I was going to drop a toaster in the bath, but I didn't have an extension lead long enough, unfortunately. So.
I'll take you if you want.
It was a torrid night for me last night, but we move on. It happens. It shouldn't be happening, but it happens.
So the record was only Chelsea, and the next striker is a Chelsea signing.
Yep.
It's Andrei Shevchenko, 39 million from AC Milan. He was at that point considered probably the best striker in the world. Was in the GOAT argument. Was considered incredible.
Yep.
It was a big signing, but everyone was excited to see it. It was like now if Messi came to the Premier League, we're all like ready just for this. And he was at Chelsea for 2 years, and I think scored 3 actual Premier League goals.
Yeah, he was shocking.
And he's very close with Abramovich, and I think he was being
brilliant.
I'm back in a second. Sorry, just sorting out my whole lighting issue.
Brilliant. Good video.
The video. Strikers.
No, I'm back now. It's all good. We Gucci.
Right. Chelsea, Andrei Shevchenko.
Yes. I was here, I was agreeing, I was still here. I just had to sort my lighting issue out.
The video you're going to cut out. Comes to Chelsea, 39 million, scores 3 times in two Premier League seasons, or 1.5. But as a number 9, that's nowhere near enough.
Yeah, not good enough at all.
Well, it would be if it was Belarus as a number 9.
Belarus. Not a whole country of Belarus.
Belarus is Belarus.
But apparently he was good friends with Abramovich. But they had Drogba at the time, who's one of the most prolific strikers the Premier League's ever had.
Yeah.
He essentially was being like, he's playing, Drogba isn't. Or Drogba's now your number 2 striker. So Drogba, who the season before won the Golden Boot, or was like in argument with the Golden Boot, I don't think he ever won it, but he was close with it, was then pipped to the post by Andrei Shevchenko, who scored 3 fucking goals.
Yeah.
And but then he left again, I think it was for free, or it was nothing, back to AC Milan, and then won a European Golden Boot award. Yeah. So it's like
another one of those who just couldn't handle the Premier League.
Well, yeah, you say that, but then it's this. I saw it like the Torres treatment. Like Torres was class at Liverpool, went to Chelsea and was fucking useless.
Yeah.
So it's like it's them doing.
Maybe maybe it's a sort of like Sanchez with United sort of thing. He doesn't fit into the system.
It's a different style of play.
Yeah, so Torres has got to be an honourable mention there.
Torres is definitely an honourable mention.
Staying on the Chelsea theme, in current form, Werner's got to make this list as well. Or make an honourable mention.
But remember, he's only been there 6 months.
Yeah, we've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. But like for someone who is so prolific in Germany,
No, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not giving him time because people that expensive shouldn't have time. They should be ready to go. But what I'm giving him, why I'm not putting him in the list, or not, he's not in my argument for the list, is because it hasn't had that much of an impact, or not enough impact for the amount of time.
Yeah, fair enough.
He has missed some sitters though.
Oh yeah,
and it's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, for someone who was ripping it up in Germany to be literally just a shadow now, it's not good enough.
This must be like the first year in FIFA. He's not had about 12 informs.
He hasn't had one.
No, he always. I think he's had one, hasn't he? When he scored 2 against Southampton.
I think he might have got one then. But yeah, it's just it's not good enough.
No, it's not. Because I just don't think he's got feet on him.
Yeah, well, that one is a case of I think he can't handle the physicality of the Premier League.
I think he's a one-touch footballer. Like, hit the ball over the top and you run, first touch, shoot. But then in the Premier League, you have to kind of hold it up and take on defenders, and I don't think he can do that.
Yeah.
He can't take a corner. Did anyone see that?
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck was that? Like, where did you
just
learn?
kicked the corner flag.
Yeah, where did you learn it? Oh, like, what are Leipzig doing? But yeah, he's an honourable mention. So, Benny, do you want to go over the team?
Yep. So we had Kepa in goal.
Boolaroo.
And we had Mangala and Di Michaelis at centre backs, Ben Mendy at left back, Danny Drinkwater and Rodwell in midfield, with Sanchez and Pepe on the wings, and up top was Shevchenko and Carroll.
Shevchenko, yeah. We know what you mean.
Yeah. So that was our worst ever Premier League transfers. I think that rounds up, boys. Yeah.
Comment below if you think we missed anyone out or who you'd put in. And if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, hit that bell, subscribe to our socials, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
I'm a young Spanish nigga from the projects.